When we think of having children, we often view them as a mix of their parents' DNA. They are, in a sense, a product of us. This traditional view of genetics is based on the normal arrow of time, flowing from past to present to future. We see our kids as a unique blend of our own traits, a cocktail of characteristics shaped by both nature and nurture. It's a perspective that's familiar and comforting, a testament to the continuation of our genetic line. And it's not just about the genes we pass on, it's about the stories, the values, the lessons. It's about a piece of us living on in the world even when we're gone. But what if we challenge this notion? What if we disrupt this linear view of time and genetics? What if we reverse the arrow of time? In this reversed perspective, our children who already exist in the future give us their genetic material. It's a strange thought, isn't it? This notion might seem counterintuitive, even absurd, but reversing the arrow of time opens up a whole new way of looking at genetics and parenthood. Picture this. Our children, who are yet to be born, are already out there in the future, and they are not just passive receivers of our DNA. No, in this reverse timeline, they are active contributors. They are the ones who pass on their genetic material to us. A complete paradigm shift, isn't it? Now let's take this a step further. We usually believe that our partner and us, we are genetically distinct entities. Our DNA, our genetic codes, they are entirely different, right? Well, not in this reverse timeline. Here, our children act as a bridge, a genetic bridge connecting us to our partners. They give us a part of our partner's genetic material. It's as if our children are a living, breathing testament of our genetic connection with our partner. It's like they are saying, hey, you're not just two separate beings. You're connected through me on a genetic level. But wait, there's more. The sperm or egg in this reverse arrow of time would kind of degenerate into exactly our DNA. Why? Because we already exist. Our genetic code is already there, fully formed. So the sperm or egg, they just return to their original state, which is our DNA. It's a bit like a time travel paradox, isn't it? If our children give us their DNA and the sperm or egg degenerate into our DNA, then where does the original DNA come from? It's a question that can make your head spin, but that's the beauty of this concept. It challenges our traditional understanding of genetics and parenthood. And it gets even weirder. We usually assume we have no DNA link to our partner, but in this reverse perspective, our children give us a part of our partner's genetic material. It's a fascinating idea, isn't it? It makes you look at your children, your partner, even yourself in a whole new light. However, in this reverse arrow of time, the sperm or egg would kind of degenerate into exactly our DNA since we already exist. This perspective takes our usual understanding of reproduction and flips it on its head. Instead of a sperm or egg evolving and combining to form a new life, they would be seen as degenerating, or simplifying, into the DNA of an individual who already exists in the future. This might seem like a strange concept, but it's an interesting thought experiment that challenges our traditional views of time, genetics, and reproduction. It forces us to consider the implications of time not as a linear progression from past to present to future, but as something more fluid and perhaps less predictable. In this scenario, the sperm and egg aren't the starting point of life, but rather the end point. They don't combine to create something new, but instead, they degenerate to become something that already exists. It's a radical shift in perspective that turns our conventional understanding of biology upside down. And in this vision, apart from the child, our parent would be the earth around us. We would start from the earth, then to a skeleton, then to a living old human being. This concept may seem far-fetched to some, but it's a fascinating exploration of our relationship with time, life, and the world around us. In this vision, apart from the child, our parent would be the earth around us. Now you might be wondering, how does that make sense? Well, let's dive into this reversed perspective. Imagine the process of life in reverse. Instead of starting as a microscopic fusion of genetic material, we begin as fully formed adults, our bodies composed of the very elements of the earth itself. Our skin, bones, blood, and every cell within us trace their origins to the soil, the air, the water, the very essence of our planet. From this perspective, we are not just inhabitants of the earth, we are its children, born of its substance, living and breathing its legacy. And as we traverse this reverse arrow of time, we progress, or rather regress, from the earth to a skeleton, and then to a living old human being. This thought-provoking perspective doesn't just reshape our understanding of parentage, but it also redefines our connection with the earth. It highlights that we are not separate entities merely living on this planet. We are deeply, intrinsically linked to it, formed from its elements, nurtured by its resources, and sustained by its balance. It's a fascinating idea that connects us more to the earth, to our children, and even to others like our partner. It's a reminder of how interconnected we all are, not just in the present, but across time. This perspective is not just a thought experiment, but a reminder of our deep connections. We've journeyed from the traditional view of genetics, where our children are seen as a product of our DNA, to reversing the arrow of time, where we imagine our children giving us their genetic material. We've pondered the strange notion of our children providing us a link to our partner's DNA, and the degeneration of the sperm or egg back into our own genetic code. We've even considered the Earth itself as our parent, as we age backward from the future. It's an intricate dance of life, time, and connection, emphasizing not only our ties to each other, but also our bond with the Earth. So, as we navigate our lives, let's remember, we are deeply interconnected, not just in our present, but across time. What are your thoughts on this? Please share, like, and subscribe for more thought-provoking content.